welcome to Monday Blitz. We are doing it differently on this wonderful day. It's already, actually still dark here, a little bit dark here in Rabat, Morocco. We are coming, of course, to you from Rabat, Morocco. It's 6 a.m. or 6 minutes after 6 a.m. In Moroccan time compared to Kenyan time. I know you are there, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. In Rabat, it's 6 a.m. in the morning, 2 hours behind Kenyan time. Of course, my name is Tony Kwalanda. I'm together with my colleague, George Kuria, here in Morocco. We've been here since, should be Thursday, actually, on Friday, since Friday, the 23rd of this May. And of course, we've been here and we're actually just looking at how Morocco is, especially the Diamond League that happened yesterday at the Olympic Stadium that is next to the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium. Such a spectacle here in Morocco. Remember, the reason as to why we are here, of course, to look at how Morocco has made great strides in terms of sports infrastructure, in terms of how serious they take their sports. And so we've learned a lot. However, we are coming to you live here from Rabat, Morocco. To be specific, let me just give honors where it's due. We are at one of the 5-star business hotels here in Rabat, known as Brat. It's such a beautiful hotel with the chandeliers. And of course, I'm standing next to the Moroccan flag and the King Mohammed VI. I don't know if you can see him actually here. So this, of course, it's very important for Morocco, just for you to see. This is the King Mohammed VI, and of course, the Moroccan flag. This, of course, is what you'll see across any establishment here in Rabat, Morocco. Let me just get into it. Yesterday evening, we were honored, to have the Rabat Diamond League to witness it yesterday at the Olympic Stadium, and we witnessed, of course, first of all, my good friend, the African 100 meters champion in the 100 meters, that is Ferdinand Omanyala, finishing in second place in the 100 meters race. And remember, this is his second participation event in the Diamond League 2025 series. And in this fourth leg, he managed to finish second. And it was actually a surprise that Tebogo finished last. Reason being that he was having a recurrent particular injury that, of course, caused him to finish last. And that's why he didn't participate in the 200 meters. So I managed to have a one-on-one interview. TV 47 and Radio 47 managed to have a one-on-one interview with Ferdinand Omanyala immediately after setting a time of 10.05 seconds to finish second in that 100 meters here at the Rabat Diamond League. Let's listen into what Omanyala said in terms of his strategy and what he wanted to achieve during this fourth round of the Diamond League Series 2025.
I mean, come race, of course, you expect to perform well. So, but you know, can't get back in time, you know. So we have to get satisfied with that, and just like keep building towards the season. Like you said, season is still very young, and we're just correcting the mistakes, and just getting that rhythm in, and trying to make sure that we get a perfect race before it's too long. Yeah.
Would you consider the Rabat Diamond League a happy hunting ground for you, which is normally the happy hunting ground for you in this particular series? See, at least now you're doing the fourth series. Ni gani inakuanga poa kwako? Inakuangalia ukipiga shughuli unasikianga yenyewe umesikia poa. Ni Rabat ama ni napigango Rabat?
No, I mean, I love Rabat, and that's why I came back. This is my second time here. And where's Chagua field? So 100 meters is 100 meters. Of course, you have to love the field. And I love the crowd out there. Walikuwa so supportive, yani. So, yep.
And niliona ukiwa mikono, ukiwa shasha. What is so special? What is that bond? Tuambie bond yao uko na hapa na watu wetu wa Rabat hapa wa Morocco. Of course, Moroccans and Kenyans have that very deep relationship.
Now, of course, you have to create that branding aspect of an athlete. Like after the race, you have to appreciate them being on the stands. They came here, they took their time to just come and cheer you up. So you have to appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm looking at all the likes of Wakani, Tebogo, Wani, Kali, and of course Kyrie. This season, who will be that particular person who you want to ensure that you beat properly this season?
I mean, 100 meters an open race this year. I mean, it's not like definite for anybody. So you just like come out here, compete, get sharper, go back home, correct the mistakes, come back again, hunt. Yeah, so there's no specific person I can put out there that we're looking forward to compete or beat him. So just looking forward, man, to correct your mistakes and get a perfect 100.
Omanyala, we are Kenyans na tukienda mahali watu tunapenda kufurahia the environment, the food, the weather, watu, the places, the culture. Nini nakufurahisha about Rabat huko Morocco ambayo of course makes you keep umesema hii ni mara yako ya pili. Ni nini hiyo? Unajua Kenya tunapenda ile kutangamana. Ni nini special inakumakingi na kamiki una enjoy race ya huko?
Now every place I go in the world na meeting wa Kenya sana, and Morocco has not been an exception because wa Kenya wamenichunga. Nimepelekwa raundi, nimeenda nikaona Roman Empire territory yao, nikacheki Spanish Empire, nikaona nika learn about Morocco deeper. So of course it was a great place. Nara sikumaliza. I need to come back again and continue touring. So I mean, Morocco has been nice.
And the Prime Cabinet Secretary and our Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, is around. Ni venye tu pengine alikuwa amemiss kuona race yako. Ako in Kenya, wanafungua embassy very soon. Actually, they're opening the embassy on tomorrow. Officially, they're opening the embassy here officially tomorrow. What do you think that means for relationship here between Kenya and Morocco? Since now you are our Kenyan ambassador, ule anakuanga globetrotting na unabeba flag yetu.
Now, of course, ukienda country upate hakuna embassy na feeling vibaya sana, because now I imagine how do we move around here? But I'm glad that they are inaugurating an embassy tomorrow, which means tukikama hapa, unajua mimi pay courtesy calls to most of the embassies that I go to the country, so it's a plus for the country, and for us as athletes, anytime tunakama hapa, at least tunajua kuna wase wetu huku, and it will be easier for our Kenyans because watakuwa wanapata an easier way coming here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well done, and of course enjoy your evening. Asante. Rolling. Hapa niko na bingwa wa Olimpiki Emmanuel Onyonyi ambaye ametoka tu hivi sasa kuweza kushiriki katika mbio za mita 800 hapa kwenye mkondo wa Rabat wa Diamond League hapa nchini Morocco, na amemaliza katika nafasi ya 3. Wanyonyi, mbio imekuwa vipi? Naona umesema kwamba umemaliza katika nafasi ya 3. Najua hiyo, that is a good, of course, finishing the top 3. Hiyo uko kwa medal bracket. Mpango wako ulikuwa vipi? Uli-execute ama kulikuwa vipi?
Naweza sema leo imekuwa siku ya kwanza kukimbia 800 meters na nimekimbia 143. So which means kumaanisha mwili iko poa because this is too early, this is ni mrefu. So I think preparation inaendelea poa.
Kuna fikira aje kwa wale wenzako, uliona nani ambaye of course unaweza kutaka kusoma kutoka kwake ama kulienda vipi going forward of course to the next leg of this particular series?
Race imekuwa poa siku ya leo. Nimefurahi kukimbia time because this is my first time to run 800 meters kwa Diamond League. So nimetoka 146 nimekimbia 143. So naenda kuprepare vizuri, next time tena ni improve kidogo because target ni World Championship kule Tokyo na mbali. So sasa tuna prepare tu, tunakimbia Diamond League for preparation for World Championship.
And of course najua sana huwa mnawasiliana na world record holder ama mshindi David Rudisha, huwa mnawasiliana, huwa mnaambiana nini, and of course imechangia vipi katika race yako ya leo na katika season venye tunaendelea?
Tuliongea vizuri, akaniambia ni tia bidii na ni stay humble, ni tia fara kwa mazoezi sana, preparation niangalie preparation ya training because so far naona mwili si mbaya kwa 800 meters. Nimekuwa nikikimbia long distance cross country, so now nimerudi kwa 800 meters, but I think kila kitu itakuwa poa. Yeah.
And of course ungependa kuambia nini mashabiki wako wa Kenya kule nyumbani, uambie nini katika matukio ambayo yamefanyika leo na watarajie nini katika tukiendelea katika hii ligi ya Malmasi?
I promise my fans will expect something good kwa hii season. Najua nimeanza nianze vibaya na maliza vizuri, kushinda nianze vizuri na maliza vibaya. Tunajua September ni mbali. So far niko poa. But na promise my fans season itafunga vizuri.
Thank you so much Emmanuel Onyonyi, and well done for finishing of course in the top 3. Tutaonana wakati na asante. That is of course Emmanuel Onyonyi. Yes, as you've rightfully heard, that is the Olympic champion, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, that was yesterday evening, immediately after he finished or took part in the 800 meters race here in the fourth leg of the Diamond League series. That is the Rabat Diamond League here in this beautiful country by the name, the Kingdom of Morocco. Just to give you the exact time that Wanyonyi set, actually set a season best of 1 minute 43.37 seconds. And definitely, as he mentioned, it's a long series, this particular 2025 season. So he's taking it slow. He is not going to want to burn himself out ahead of course, the next leg will be held in Rome, Italy, before Oslo, and then, of course, in Paris. Other Kenyans in the 800 meters, quickly, is, apologies, Wycliffe Nyamal, who managed to set a time of 1 minute 44.63 seconds in the 800 meters. And then, of course, looking at others, that is Aaron Kimei Cheminigwa of Kenya set a time of 1 minute 47.27 seconds in the 800 meters. In the men's 1500 meters final, we had Jonah Koech, who is a Kenyan-born U.S. citizen, who set a personal best time of 3 minutes 31.43 seconds. Reynold Cheriot of Kenya, who managed 3 minutes 31.78 seconds, a season best for Reynold Cheriot. And then, of course, Festus Lagat finished in third place with 3 minutes 32.06 seconds. That is a personal best time. Of course, other Kenyans, Vincent Kibet Keter was in position 9 in the 1500 meters to set a time of 3 minutes 33.33 seconds, a season best. Brian Komen also finished in position 11 in the 1500 meters in competition. However, the big news is my very good friend, the record holder and double Olympic champion, Beatrice Chebet, in the 3,000 meters. Beatrice Chebet set the second fastest time in the history of the 300 meters flat. She set a time of a meeting record, a world lead time in the 3,000 meters of 8 minutes 11.56 seconds here in Rabat at the Olympic Stadium. That was a highlight of that particular competition yesterday night. We just didn't manage to get an interview with her because we had other commitments here in Rabat. Yani mambo ni mengi, but of course this is a milestone for Beatrice Chebet. Congratulations to her. And another Kenyan, of course, in this competition, Janeth Chepngetich, finished in position 10 in 8 minutes 38.83 seconds in the women's 3,000 meters flat. And of course, just to let you know, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi, was able to interact or meet the athletes just after the Rabat Diamond League at their hotel yesterday night to congratulate them for a great performance at the Olympic Stadium here in Rabat. And that, of course, that was good news for the athletes, just to encourage them. And the reason why the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, is in Rabat this particular time, today, we shall be following up that story whereby Mr. Mudavadi, the CS Foreign Affairs, will be signing 5 MOUs where they'll be having bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of Morocco, if you like, the head of government of Morocco. They'll also definitely be opening officially the Kenyan embassy in Rabat, and later on there will be the celebration of the African Day that will be commemorated here in Rabat. So we'll be able, of course, to give you all those events that will be happening today, very significant for Kenya. And TV 47, Radio 47, Digital 47 will exclusively bring you those particular events live, and also reports from Rabat, Morocco. However, just to let you know the other reasons why we are here, remember, Morocco will be co-hosting the 2030 World Cup, FIFA World Cup, together with Portugal and Spain. And we're just here to witness how Morocco is making progress in terms of building new stadiums. Remember, they'll be building a very new stadium by the name Grand Stade Hassan II in, I think, if I'm not wrong, in Casablanca. They'll be hosting over 115,000 fans, and it will be the biggest ever stadium in the world after Maracana, that is situated in Brazil. So definitely we are here to witness a lot of things that are happening. We shall be sharing you about the culture of Morocco. We shall be sharing to you about the good things that Morocco, the business opportunities that Morocco offers, and what Kenyans and Moroccans can do together to ensure and deepen the ties that have always been there since 1965. Yes, from 1965, Kenya and Morocco have had this particular relationship, which has, of course, here they have come here to cement it, to ensure that this relationship continues. So we'll be here, based here in Rabat, Morocco, until June. So nothing to worry about. We shall be giving you details and, of course, what is happening here in Morocco and Kenya relations. So, of course, my colleagues in studio, of course, I'm here standing by for any particular questions. We had recorded some atmosphere from the stadium at the Olympic Stadium, just to show you the thousands of fans who turned up for the fourth leg of the Rabat Diamond League. The atmosphere, we shall, of course, be able to share that with you, or maybe, of course, our director, Emmanuel Inonda, is also on standby on that. So I would like to hand you back to studio. However, I'm on standby just in case you have any questions for any updates that we are happy to share with you. Back to studio for now.
All right, thank you so much. Shukran sana, Tony Kwalanda there in Rabat, Morocco, where he's following up on what is happening in the whole of Morocco. And here in the studio, Monday Blitz. Monday Blitz has officially kicked off, and a lot has happened over the week, including basketball African League, where Thunder sing wanasema wanaona moto, and also speaking of Thunder, there's also English Premier League imeisha. Sasa sijui timu yako imefanyaje, but I'm not alone. Hi, and Fred Arocho and a team of well-informed sports pundits, sports analysts, and football content creators here. We have Fred Arocho, Annette Washira, and Lawrence Omondi, who is also a football agent. They will be talking, or rather we will be analyzing on what happened over the weekend. Arocho, tangu utoke kule Egypt, tujapatana.
Yeah, I'm back. It was a very good outing for the country. First of all, the under-20. For me, I thought this is just but the beginning. I believe that this is the team that is going to represent Kenya well in 2027. And of course, for me, Radio 47, TV 47, it was another forum for us to make sure that we make a mark in the field.
Even a mark. Tuanze tu moja kwa moja tuingie English Premier League. What happened? Because the season is over. Liverpool are currently the champions of the 2024-2025 English Premier League. Manchester United did what they did, and walisema it's not how you start, it's how you finish, after registering a 2-0 victory against Aston Villa. Chelsea wakasema mmefanya vizuri, mmetushikia. But then again, nianze na Lawrence, alikuwaje tukiongea tu kuhusu the whole season vile imekuwa English Premier League?
I think the season has been very, very rough on us, being Manchester United fan. It has not been easy changing coaches here and there. Team spirit, team bonding has been very difficult on our side, but at least the worst since I was born. This is the worst time Manchester United finishing table, I think fifth last, something like that. So I think just one team away from relegation, but so far so good. We are here, we're starting a new season. I think before the season started, Ten Hag said they were not ready for the season. They didn't prepare well, and now we can see from the result at the end of the season. So hopefully next season will be a good one, and we have time and we have few competition to really concentrate on our preparation before the season starts.
And Ivan Amorim came out and said, you know, the best is yet to come. We are yet to witness the best. Now the best next season. Arocho, a quick recap of the English Premier League.
Well, I was impressed by the league. Why? At least this season we had a new champion. That fact that City has been dominating the league for me was now watering down the league. It was now becoming a very readable league. You could just know that City was going to win. For Manchester United, I think Manchester United is still suffering. It will take another 4 or 5 seasons before the team comes back to where it was. I normally say that soccer is not an event. Soccer is a process, and it will take time. For a team like Arsenal, I think they have reached their peak. For me, if I was an Arsenal director, I could have sacked the coach, because I'm not seeing the coach getting Arsenal anywhere past where they've gone. They've done their best in the Champions League. They replicated their performance in the league. Any other team? I've talked about, I know, Chelsea. Chelsea, I think they're cleaning house there. They're cleaning up their house. The house, it was saturated. Many players, and most of these players were not really playing week in, week out. So I think they are in a transition, if you ask me. Tottenham is a big disappointment, if you ask me. Yes, they won the Europa League, but look at their performance over the weekend. Consistency is key in soccer. So all in all, the league has a new champion, and I believe next season also the league will get a new champion.
Annette, Annette, she's a Manchester City fan. I don't know, would you say you guys had a successful season after finishing second?
I think Manchester City really impressed me. At the beginning of the season, I didn't think we would even make a Champions League finish. We had a bit of issues. We lost Rodri, we lost Haaland, we lost Kevin. But what has happened in the process is we've cleaned house quickly. That's something that Manchester United have failed to do time and time again. We were able to pick ourselves up. Even in the January transfer window, we were able to bring the likes of Mamouche, Gonzalez, people who were able to clean up, bring us back to where we were. So for Man City, especially with our win, finishing third, and with the team that has had the highest number of consecutive losses in the Premier League, I think this season in terms of competition, the competition has not been as high, because for us to lose 6 or 5 times in a row and still come and finish third, I think it's a big win for us. If you look at the other teams, Manchester United was a big flop this season. I think they were the most entertaining team. I think they finished with 40, 41, 42.
United?
Yes.
I'm even surprised. I'm even surprised she's talking about
42
a good
42
performance from Man City.
Yes.
Man City has not done well. They were number 1. They are now number 3.
But 3.
You cannot be in class for 2-3 seasons. You're doing so well. Then all of a sudden you move from 1 to 3. But because she's a Man City sympathizer, well,
No. What I've said is, in the beginning of the season, we had a pathetic season. So for them to pick up mid-season and come and perform well, I did not expect for them to have a Champions League finish. But for Man U, they did what they did. For Chelsea, we've had a very high competition in between number 3 and number 7, number 8, until the final day. Yesterday, if any team lost around there, they would have been either in and out of either the Champions League, the Conference, and the Europa. Even what happened with the game against Aston Villa. Aston Villa were favourites to go into the Champions League, only for them to drop down. Yes, but otherwise it has been an entertaining season. It was sad we couldn't have done 5 in a row.
Okay, before that, because we have to take a short break, we are going to come back and check on the top 5 teams, because I understand Chelsea, Tottenham will be going to the Champions League come next season. But let's take a short break. Alafu tusiondoke sababu we are coming back with a lot to discuss. FKF Premier League season, FKF Mozart Cup also, and even Basketball African League. Let's take a short break.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth, as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50 going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Jiunge nasi
tunarudi. Karibu tena, this is Monday Blitz. My name is Duncan Mtua, Fred Arocho, Annette Washira and Lawrence Omonti wananisaidia analyze or check on what happened over the weekend. We were looking at English Premier League, and now we're also going to check on the top 7 teams, or rather the teams that qualified for the European Championship, that is UEFA Champions League. Tottenham, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester City and even Liverpool ni part of the teams those that qualified for the Champions League. United missing out of the European football next season. Next season watakuwa wanacheza Carabao and FA. Arocho, you have to talk about the top 6 teams.
Well, I think number 1 was done long before. Liverpool just showed consistency. And once again, I'm going to reiterate on this show that soccer is about consistency. Soccer is about moments. When you get your moments, you really need to take good advantage of them and, of course, get your points. For Arsenal, that is number 2. I think Arsenal, as I said earlier, Arsenal needs to get a new coach, needs to just do something, because it will be worse next season. It's good that we are seated here, God willing.
And then we'll be back.
We'll be here. God willing, we'll be alive and healthy. You will see that they will perform disastrous. Things cannot be the same and you do things the same and expect different results. Number 3, Man City needs to pull up its socks. I think a lot of internal wrangles, the coach and several players. Yeah. For me, that's what did them in. They could not hold on to that pressure. Number 4 was it Chelsea? Yeah. Chelsea, I think a lot of money. A parent who has a lot of money buying all the books, paying school fees, and yet doesn't really concentrate. Eventually, there was saturation of players in the team, and of course that interfered with their performance. There's a team that really disappointed me. That is Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest, though I don't support what the president did, moving to the pitch, trying to confront the coach, but I think they just dropped their guard on the last moment. Another team that did well for me was Aston Villa, though they didn't live up to the expectation. They ought to have beaten Manchester United yesterday. I gave them a win against United, though whatever happened. They lost. Another team in that sequence was
Newcastle.
Newcastle. I think Newcastle, they put in money. I don't think they really reaped what they put in, but consistency. Next season, you'll see a far much better Newcastle, and of course, they'll start challenging for the title.
Tottenham will also be getting to to the Champions League.
They won't perform anything. If you cannot perform in this stage, yesterday Tottenham needed to have gotten a convincing win. Not only a win, a convincing win to confirm that that European position was not a fluke. But here, well, for me, Tottenham, and Tottenham has been so consistent in failing, not only now, about 15 years down the lane. When you look at their Tottenham's...
Were they lucky against United?
United, another 4 years, I said it here. It will take Manchester United 4 years to come back. Because each year they drop. For example, now they're not going to play in any European competition. That means less revenue. Yes. That means you cannot attract good players into your team. It means that you'll either settle with the team that you have or forced to pick fringe players from elsewhere. So these two factors will really affect Manchester United in the next 4 seasons.
Lawrence, you were saying something before we took a break, and even checking on the top 6 teams.
I think Annette said Man City tried their best. They started the season very worse and then picked up. But according to the Man City, we know the Pep, we know it's called the genius in football. I think Man City is a team that at any bad moment they are not supposed to finish the Premier League or any competition without even a trophy on their bad season, because you imagine all the...
That's Man City.
Yeah, that's Man City.
Yes. Now I'm on... You see, now you're confirming my point.
Real Madrid also finished trophyless.
No.
The way she was talking about Man City...
She was talking about Man City.
The way she was talking about Man City, you would assume it's another team, not Man City.
Yeah, exactly.
We started... Okay, finish. Then
so that's what I wanted to actually highlight, because Man City losing 9 games in a season.
But still finishing third.
Third, but coming out with a trophy the whole season, it's really, really frustrating for such kind of a team, especially the quality of the coach they have. Take Pep at Newcastle, you'll see what he can do there.
Will he get relegated?
No, he can change the team.
With the current squad though?
The current squad, actually the Newcastle current squad, I even expected them to perform better, to finish even the second, because the quality of the players in Newcastle can perform at any competition right now. We saw them really struggling a lot and doing their best in the Champions League, despite being relegated. I think also when we also talk about Arsenal. Arsenal is one team that if last season they didn't perform according to our expectation, because we really expected them to get even the Premier League and the Champions League, and they end up being trophyless. I think next season will really, really be hectic for them, because every team will be wanting to perform better according to the...
You mean you were expecting Arsenal to win the Champions League?
No. We expect... They usually say next season, these guys are usually...
No. You know, you need to correct me there. Yeah. There's a friend of mine called Shatterboy. In fact, he's disappeared. Because Shatterboy was a person who really, when the season was beginning, Shatterboy was speaking like Arsenal is a team from the mass. And when he's talking about expecting Arsenal to win the Champions League or even the league, you know, I wonder where these people come from.
Arrocho, you know, to be honest, they had a good squad.
This season, football is not about good squad.
Actually, this season they had a good squad.
Their defense was compact.
No. The problem with this season for Arsenal is the number of games did not play to their advantage. They lost so many players. Actually, I think in the Premier League, because of their lack of depth, they lost so many players.
No. Let's not discuss that. That is an internal issue. Let Arsenal solve the internal issue of having players injured. You know, there are issues that the Nyumbani, we are not getting as Manchester. Like, I've considered defeat. You see the way I've considered
in January, they didn't even sign.
That is their problem.
They had the opportunity to. They were sure with their squad, but we know Arsenal is for always next season and next season, next season.
Okay,
So we're not expecting
all right.
miracle.
Let me respond to Man City. Yes, Man City, we had a terrible season for this reason. We have an aging squad. So we have had this squad for the past 7 years. We have performed for the past 7 years. Yes. So
this is the same squad that won the league the previous season. So you cannot say that it's an aging team.
You guys,
lost.
That's why I have a problem with Man City fans. Don't ever mention Rodri when you're talking about your failure.
If you look at Pep centers his teams around a 6. All of his teams, look at Barcelona, look at Thiago Alcantara, look at
if you're a good tactician, why don't you change then?
No.
If I was a good tactician, the mistake Pep did, we went into the previous season with Rodri playing almost 90% of all the games. The likes of Kovacic, when they came in, they were not getting enough game time. So for him now to come and now start fitting him into the system.
Bruno Fernandes did 100%.
Bruno cannot even fit into the into the starting 11 of Newcastle. He cannot.
Honestly, whenever I talk to City fans, whenever I talk to Arsenal fans, they sing the same song. Now see the way she was trying to give excuses.
It's not.
Soccer is not about the first 11. It's not about the first 16. So those are internal issues. Man City, sit down, have your own meeting and sort them out. And that's why I don't bring Manchester United issues here. There are a lot of issues at United. The reason why United almost got relegated are so many. And I don't bring them here. Because the moment we start discussing small issues and the Nyumbani, yes, we are not going to finish the discussion.
then why
do
Okay, away from that, Arsenal, he's right. Arsenal have been they're doing a table of number 2, meaning that they've been in this position over and over and over and over and over. And even we're having this conversation with Shatterboy, and one of the things he said is that Arsenal have done this before and they've come to win the league. In Kamambia, we will be here. So for them, I think...
You see, he disappeared.
I think the consistency in Arsenal is not working. I feel like especially in this season, how do you let number 1 and number 2 have that kind of space? It doesn't happen. Even for Liverpool, when we were winning, we won them with, it was 99, 97. So for even, I think Klopp, wherever he is like, you guys can win the league with 82 points. Not possible.
Let's come back here, Tom. Football Kenya Federation, Mozart Cup. Police didn't want to win the cup. Gor Mahia, and it's like they are waiting for Mara against
Nairobi
United.
Can I give you guys a very big news?
Yes, sir.
Nairobi United is going to play in the finals with Gor Mahia.
And they are going to win.
And the history is going to be made. So I'm not going to mention the very history, but if you know Kenyan football, you know what I'm talking about. But coming back to police, I think I said it in the show before I left for Egypt. Police have a lot of good management. They have the reason why police is where it is, there are 2 reasons. One, they have a squad that is experienced. They have players who have played to this level, and they are players who are not new to the environment that they are currently in. 2 is the management. The chairman of police is the anchor of that team. Mr. Nyale, once again, I give you kudos, because Nyale does a lot of stuff for that team. The stability that you see at police is because they have a very sober leader. But I think when they dropped the ball over the weekend, when they lost in the FKF Cup, for me, that is a wrong indicator. Because the next match they're playing in the league, they're playing against a very stubborn team. In my team, Shabana FC. They are lucky that match is not going to be played in Gusii. That match is most likely going to be played in Machakos, if you ask me. Shabana is going to beat police at Machakos. And for me, Gor is going to win against FC Leopards on Monday, while Shabana beats police. Then the next match, Gor Mahia plays against police, picks a win against police, and then the table turns. For me, the winner of this league is going to be Gor Mahia.
Okay, Annette?
I think it was very disappointing. I mean, Gor Mahia went to Marashuga and beat them 4-0. And for them to come for this Mozart Bet Cup and lose points. And I mean, it was, I think from the beginning of the game, they didn't have control. Police didn't have control of that game from the beginning. So I think for police, we only need, in fact, if we lose all our games, and Gor Mahia lose just one game, we take the trophy. If Tusker lose just one game, we take the trophy. So I think for us, it's
also your police.
Draw. Yeah. Yes. So we just actually in the next two games, if Gor Mahia, they're playing I think Ulinzi as well. They're playing FC. If they lose against the FC, or even Bahati Mbaya they draw, we have a higher chance of them giving us what is it called?
The parade.
Yes.
Guard of honor.
Yes. So I think for police and also in terms of the season, I think we've really done our best. As you said, we have good management. Financially, we're doing well. Also in terms of consistency, the players also they brought in mid-season. So I think I'm waiting for the guard of honor.
I think police have high chances of winning this trophy, EPL. I think just like Arocha said, they have the quality. And in football, quality matters, maturity matters. So if you compare police and Gor Mahia's squad right now, you see the maturity, the experience that's in police. It's really worth it, and it's really an advantage to the police and the management. That's like Arocha said, the chairman. The chairman really gives a lot, supports the team in all the way possible. So police have high chances of winning. The game against Shaban is going to be tricky, but I'm still positive police is going to win that match, because the last match, they do a mistake of losing or drawing the next match against Shabana. The last match automatically Gor will win, because Gor knows how to deal with such kind of situation.
So let me ask the two a question.
Sure.
What was the results of the first leg match, Shabana against police?
Can I remember?
I think Shabana won.
Shabana won. And in fact,
are they going? That was in.
For me, that reason was so intentional. The reason why I'm asking you this question is, at that particular time, police almost dissolved their team.
Yes.
When they lost against Shabana.
Yes. And
at the moment, Shabana is riding high. And the reason why I feel that police is going to be so tensed in that match is because they lost the previous match. They say in soccer that you are as good as your last match.
But also, if you look at number 2 and number 3, Gor doesn't have a current sitting coach. Tusker has a lot.
Doesn't have a current?
It does. See, what is his name?
Coach, lakini akaenda.
But also Tusker.
But Zedekia is equal to the task.
But coming at the last game of the season, okay. And also Tusker, with those, how do you get beaten 7-0 and expect?
Mashemeji Derby. I think we should not be talking about Tusker.
Tusker should not be our discussion. Mashemeji Derby, God will win. Guys, at this particular moment is a very crucial moment. And I talked about experience. The ambience at Raila Odinga Stadium will be a win for Gor Mahia, if you ask me.
I think when it comes to Mashemeji Derby, I think Gor has high chances of winning. The fact that they've taken them to Homa Bay and the stadium, it's really going to be crowded. So the third player, I think the 13th player, who is usually the fan, will push more for Gor to win. And Gor seeing the trophy ahead of them, I think they don't have any chance to give it to police that easily.
Is there anything to play for?
Of course, for Gor, yes. There's everything to play for, because they need to win all their matches for them to compete with us. But
and pray police lose all the matches.
Yes, but I feel like it's going to be a draw. The only thing that is coming for Gor is the stadium, of course. But from the previous, which he said, from the first leg, it was a draw. So there's a very high possibility it will repeat itself.
You know, I was waiting for Arocho Aban taking
No. She's just inviting me to. Okay. What I'm saying, I wish she travels to Homa Bay to come and watch. At this particular moment, Gor has all to lose.
Yeah.
Because any slip, if they pick a draw, they've lost. So for me, Gor Mahia is going out. The problem at Gor Mahia has been, if you ask me, is the control within the bench. The previous coach was for me, he was not a coach. I said it when he came in and people really bashed me. I said, this guy is a comedian. I went to Gor Mahia's match in Machakos and I was wondering, who is this? Because he's all over. He's on the bench, moving from the bench. He's with the referee, shouting all over.
Passionate about the game.
No, it's not about, a coach is a leader.
Yes.
A coach is a father. The moment a father is scattered everywhere, then the family is scattered. But Zedekia Otieno is an experienced coach. Don't just look at Zedekia as an assistant coach. He's been a very good coach at KCB. He's been a very good coach at Sony Sugar. So the experience that he has, I feel that Gor is far much better with Zedekia at the moment than the comedian that was there losing to Nairobi City Stars. For me, that was dangerous for Gor Mahia.
But don't you think the virus is still there? Because the likes of
a very good question combining with your question.
Yeah.
She's asking, he's just coming, he's coming late. No, it's not late. He's been there all through. In fact, he's been the guy who's trying to bring some soberness on that bench. So Zedekia is crucial. You asked what?
I'm saying, if another foreign coach comes in,
we don't need that. If you ask, we don't need a foreign coach.
You still have the same guys who regard the other guy.
It's high time we start getting used to our coaches.
Good.
Yeah. We have one of the best. I think, like just Arocha said, Zedekia, if you've ever been coached by Zedekia, at some moment I think he coached me when I was playing, is one of the best tacticians we have around. The way he handles players, the way he motivates players, whatever he does in the field, you can see as a player, you'll see there's something very crucial or serious here.
But does the culture of the club believe in the
I think
homemade coaches?
We'll come back to this after the Mashemeji derby.
If you ask me, it's high time that these big teams invest in their own coaches. Zedekia was an excellent player at Gor Mahia when he was a player. So Gor Mahia, and Zedekia has the philosophy. He knows what is expected from the fans at Gor Mahia. So when he moves from being an excellent player at Gor Mahia, very good training as a coach, why don't you give Zedekia a 3-year contract, give him the confidence, and show him that we believe in you regardless of the initial results? Because, for example, look at what happened with Fred Ambani. Fred Ambani came in as a coach who was going just to handle the team for a short while. But the good performance. Yeah. Tom Juma was there. Yeah, exactly. Tom Juma was not given enough time, if you ask me. We gave more time to the foreign coaches than what we gave to Tom Juma. If you ask me, Tom Juma, the results, the good results that we've seen at FC Leopards are what Tom Juma plowed when he was at FC Leopards.
A quick prediction ahead of the derby. I don't know. Which team are you going to give?
Gor 2, FC Leopards 1.
A quick one.
I think a 0-0.
You should be at home. She should come at home.
We'll pop
She should come to home.
I think Gor will win 2-0.
Okay. Switching off to matters basketball, because I can see our very own Alan Zuki kwa hapa. He's been following. Karibu Alan. Kuja. He's been following on.
I was eating for that Mashemeji derby topic.
Conversation.
I'm hearing Mzeapa, oh, coach did this. You know this guy and they come from far.
But don't you think the club should come up with a culture?
No, let me tell
also,
you.
If you are going to bring another coach, a foreign coach, the virus is still there. The Vurugu will be also there.
Let me tell you, Vurugu inaanzaga kwa local coaches, and Arocho knows that. He knows that very well. Do you know anybody yake?
Sabotage.
Yeah, sabotage.
No. Guys, you cannot sabotage your own. Because the coach was just left. There was a risk that everybody else was going to be sacked. So you cannot say that these local coaches were sabotaging the foreign coach. Because the other option was to kick everybody out.
That's the only option.
That's the only option. Anyway. Basketball African League, Thunder are saying bad things. The reason why umekuja hapa ni kuhusu Thunder and also check on NBA what is happening.
To be honest, today I won't be critical as much as I was last week, because you know, for the first time I can say the last 2 games for Thunder were very good. You know, they played the Kenyan teams, you know, Adera, Okalu, so the Kenyan players come out and show up. And yesterday it was a bit of bad luck, you know, losing in the last second to APR Rwanda, and it was a wild shot. You know, when you lose to a wild shot right at the dead, it's very disappointing. However, one thing that impressed me is how Thunder were able to take the fans there. If you look at all the games and the highlights, you'd see Team Kenya everywhere. You know, they took over 100 people, you know, and not just the fans, you know. I'm speaking of also football people, you know, I'm talking of Hussein Mohammed was there, the FKF president, politicians were there. It was just showing where basketball for Kenya has really gone. And in regards to their performance, you know, it's a first time, you know. There's something Arocho said very important, whereby a first time for every team is a chance to learn. So for Nairobi City Thunder to make it to the BAL, it was a chance for them to learn so that when next time they get that chance, they can truly show their class. It was a lesson for Brad Ibs. We saw him put the local players in the last 3 games. You know, there was no more like Ganapamo, I don't know, those people from Indonesia or whatever they are coming from. But it was very important for Thunder, and I do think in the next BAL, we are going to make a statement.
I don't know what has changed because the Alan who was here last Monday, there's something that has changed.
I think the most important thing, after the Kenya Under-20, all of us were very heated. But the reality of it is, this is their first competition. It was a good outing, and also I think he's calmed down because we beat MBB. We beat MBB in the last match, and also this game for APR Rwanda, we lost with 3 points.
Last minute 3 points.
So I think also the coach heard what Alan said. He started more local players. He changed even the lineups, even how they were playing. I think
Kenyans, Arocho, inayo unafoni support. Kenyans, we should move on from this. It's our first time thing. Wherever the resources and I usually say, you know, it's the first time thing.
Well, first of all, I'd like to make a comment about his demeanor today. I think he's been humbled. I saw the show when I was
you are following, yeah?
Yeah, I followed when I was in Cairo. And, you know, you could see a different person. But everything has a first time.
Okay.
And I saw it in Egypt. What the Egyptians are doing so well. And that's why you see Egypt is excelling in all sports. Why are these people excelling in all sports? It's because they've invested. In this country, we just expect things to happen. Things will never, in most of sports, will never happen by default. It must be designed. Egypt, everything else is designed. At a tender age of 6, children of 6 years of age are playing karate, are training basketball, are training volleyball. So you see that it's a country that has invested. Sisi tunataka tu, we wake up one early morning na tupate Victor Wanyama. It is not by default, it is by design.
Alan, a quick one from Alan here before we wrap up. What should we expect now? What's next for Thunder? What's next for the
next for Thunder? I think we should just be keen on how they come back to the league and establish themselves as a powerhouse, you know, because it's very heartbreaking to lose in that fashion. So we're just keen to see how they'll come back to Kenya, how they'll handle the pressure, how they'll be able to control the fans, and also, most importantly, how they'll be able to bounce back. And because of time allowed me to give you my parting shot, this weekend, something spectacular happened in sports. We saw Luka Modric retire from football. Remember, when Luka Modric joined Real Madrid from Tottenham, he was welcomed by 0 fans during his unveiling ceremony.
Yeah.
Yesterday, or on Saturday, Santiago Bernabeu bid farewell to a true legend. So it doesn't matter how you start. What matters is how you finish.
You finish. All right. Again.
I like that.
You like that?
You said there was 0 fans when he came in.
They were close to 0.
0 fans.
Actually, the Bernabeu was empty, apart from Florentino
and
the rest. But Bernabeu came together, 75,000 people.
Lawrence Maliza,
question will be the way Thunder started. Are they going to finish like Luka Modric?
Okay, when you pass
Lawrence Maliza.
Yeah, I think it has been a good season for Liverpool and the Premier League at large. So bad season for Manchester United, a fair season for Arsenal, as usual, waiting for next season. I think a good beginning, a good exposure for Thunder, also being this is I think the first time at the league. So it's something we're expecting more of improvement in those specific sports, even in under-20. I think it has been the first time to compete in AFCON, so the next AFCON I think they'll do better.
A quick one.
I think as a fan, we've had an entertaining season, both sports, in football, in rugby. Women went on to qualify in, the Premier League, the ups and downs in the Premier League, BAL, Kenya Under-20. So I think as a fan, thank you for entertaining us. They've really given us something to talk about, especially Manchester United.
Arocho drop here.
Now, for me, I'm welcoming guys at Radio 47 will be at Kakamega,
yes.
Symphony Lodge on Saturday for the finals of the Champions League. And of course, TV47 will also be there. And then we believe that 90 Plus on Monday will also be hosted in Homa Bay, because we'll do the Mashemeji Derby updates, both on TV and on radio. And then 90 Plus will be hosted by Homa Bay. So watu wa Homa Bay, mukai rada.
Unasema tufatane Homa Bay, tufatane Kakamega. Unasema, my director is telling me, you know, Arsenal, it's not how you start. It's about next season. It's not about how you finish. It's about waiting for the next season. Anyway, it has been Monday Blitz. My name is Dan Kamtua. Thank you for watching na weekend njema. Kwaheri.
So, doctor, you need go for that.